Hello, my name is Catherine, and I am a part of Simply Support, where I am just supporting anyone who comes my way with the information that has helped me, that I've used to support myself and many others. And this information that I'm sharing with you today to hopefully support you is on a subject matter that is very important to me because of its role, and I feel like its insignificance sometimes. I get back and forth as someone that's, working to support others, playing in the virtual world, in the technology world. How often do I create content? And I've been back and forth of what is a good level to communicate with others when I don't take in a lot of content on a regular basis. What would I expect others to do? And, in a place of where anyone and everyone can make content in it and share information, it's useful, but it can also become overwhelming. And so I've been working for several years now trying to find a place within it, my place within it, and within content creation, within being a supporter, within sharing the things that I care about. And so this is something where I've made peace with, and I at least just share, once a week with Simply Support. And so I hope that you continue to find this useful, and that this information is enlightening on the perspectives that I have and the perspectives that I think are useful in changing the human experience and having a more peaceful human experience. So, without further ado, I want to give you information on how to support yourself in finding your own answers through silence and stillness. Wow, beautiful. Okay, so I'm going to go over here into my screen share. Bam. Silence and stillness and finding and implementing your own answers. Because as what you should know about me, I guess, behind Simply Support, what you probably already do, is that I like to personalize support for the individual. Each one of us is unique within our experiences, the way our lives are changing, and sometimes words to a certain person mean nothing to someone else, and so it's, everyone's personal, everyone's unique, and I treat everyone such. And I believe that we have the ability, though, to find and implement the answers for ourselves that we're looking for, that meaning that we're looking for. Instead of always looking for it externally through other people, it's a call to an encouragement to find silence and stillness within, and trust that the answers are within you, because that's what I experienced. So, let's do this. Okay. Let me make sure that this is my A1 technology skills right here. Okay, so what role does silence and stillness play in implementing your own answers? I can speak from my own experience, where I was constantly looking outside of me for answers. What's good? What's right? Should I be doing? What could I be doing? Just always seeking oh, well, that person has what I have, so they must know something that I don't know, and I need to listen to them to understand them completely. And then once I understand them, then I'll know exactly what makes peace and happiness and make me rich, or this or that, the things that we all desire. It's like, oh, oof, like the answers, the feelings. But as I've said in previous videos, and something that I stand by, is that no one knows completely what's going on here. I had a conversation with someone today, that, really believes in science, and I do too, but it's like, what came first, nature or science? And it was nature. Humans created science to understand nature. So, that's another thing of an individual finding and implementing their own answers. That was through science. People created science to find and implement their own answers about the human experience. And so science is one answer for things, but what is your answer? What is the answer that you seek? So, okay. So the what behind silence and stillness. So as I've said before, the external noise from the world can sometimes be overwhelming and prevent us from finding our own answers. Everyone has an opinion, right? And with that, we can be influenced 1,000,000,000 times in a day, through commercials, through TV episodes, through shows that you're watching, through your parents, through your friends, through the people that you happen to see scrolling on social media. All of those people are impacting you and influencing you and how you feel about what you're doing. And the contrast of that noise is silence. So silence is that place where you'll be able to hear that voice from within. And when you hear that voice, you are better able to discern what is for you and what isn't for you. And that's, I believe, is super powerful because as I said, each one of us is unique. And sometimes when we see someone else doing something, we're like, oh, that's meant for me. Or we could see it and be like, maybe I'm just pursuing that for ego reasons instead of what is actually true to me and my essence and what I stand for. Trying to be like someone else versus being confident and understanding who I am. That sort of energy. And I hope that makes sense. So, yeah, I know that there is a lot of noise out there. Whoop. I wonder if this presentation's working. Yes, it is. It is working, right, Kate? Yeah. It just takes a second to load. That's it. Look at how many people there are. I can't do crowds and that many people. It freaks me out too much. But anyways, I know there's a lot of noise out there in the past several years. Like I said, I've been a victim of noise, of other people's opinions, of listening to everyone else besides myself. Noise and the impact of others is like what we see here in this photo. Although we are not all in the same place, millions of us are connected through the internet every day, which equates to just as much noise. And we put ourselves out there in the world, it's like we can sense the energy of others' voices and opinions in our head. So I don't know if any of you interact with the world and what regard you do, but, think about if you've ever posted something to social media before, all of the judgments, all of the feelings, all of what people think about it and opinions of it is just, they're hitting you and then you're throwing your meaning onto them, and then it is just a lot of noise. It's a lot of words, it's a lot of expression, and it's a lot of things to get wrapped around and looped within. Also, some of us live with other people, and with that, silence becomes more difficult to find and utilize. If you live with someone else, then you're constantly hearing their perspective on life, their answers, what they're going through. And with that noise, it's difficult to be like, ooh, well, where is the silence? Because maybe the silence would help. In general, though, like, silence is something that can be uncomfortable, and a lot of people avoid it. That's why, I encourage this on a regular basis and say that I'm here to support you in it, because I think that silence is very important. And it comes from previous videos I've talked about with hitting the pause button, disconnecting and detaching yourself from your experience for long enough to give yourself permission to have time on your own. Because, when you tell yourself that you're ready to cut off from the noise of the world, I'm done looking at social media for the day, I'm done watching things, I don't want any more content, I don't want any of this, I want to be cut off from the noise, you can see how the benefits of silence can come into your life. And to make you more comfortable with embracing moments in silence and stillness, let me talk to you about more of what they mean to me, because I hope so far this is making a sense. For anyone that's been stuck in wormholes or rabbit holes, you know who you are. I've been there, but silence and stillness is where we find the most peace. So, silence is the absence of external and internal sound that provides a void from which new perspective and understanding is formed. That's beautiful, isn't that? What a powerful definition. What if you could have the absence of external and internal sound? What sort of perspective and understanding is waiting for you within that void? This is what I want you to find. This external and internal silence that will allow you to see and understand your life differently. Silence is the void where the answers towards guiding your life will arise given time and commitment. So I firmly believe in that once the sound is gone, something happens. Did you think your video froze? Okay, so that's silence. This is stillness. Oh no, I'm in the way. Oh, let's move me up here. Haha, I'm over here now. Stillness is the absence of movement or sound. Consider that heightened awareness in the present moment. So, how difficult is it for you to sit still without fidgeting with your fingers, or moving back and forth, or having to scratch that itch, or having to play music, you know? How often and how long can you sit in just silence and be still? It's difficult. It is difficult. Okay, so now you have these definitions of silence and stillness. Just to clarify what I'm talking about, we can get into the more juicy information. Oh wait, no, I've got another thing to share. This is a poem, and I hope this poem helps for you to understand silence and stillness a bit more, my perspectives of it. So, alright, my poem voice is ready. Silence bears the wholeness we keep looking for, while we don't know exactly what we are looking for. It goes to the deepest depths of the soul and to the outermost reaches of the cosmos, and continually unites the two at the centering place of our heart. Here we discover the power of recreation. Here everything comes alive again, as if for the first time. The secret and this mystery are so revolutionary that all who aspire to commercialize the world conspire to bury the secret in the noise of the world. And the imitation of strength of this mystery causes us to run to that noise, though we are not conscious that we are doing so. It's a lot to take in, if I'm honest. But this is the quote that I feel like really pushes silence to the next level for me. Because it's like, nature is silent, plants don't talk, trees don't talk, birds like speak, but they sing, and it's not like always in your ear, you know, but yeah, most of the world is silent. Most of the nature is silent. So then it's like, why is there so much noise nowadays? You know, what if silence could provide you that wholeness that you're seeking? In silence, we come alive again as we connect to our original state of being and give ourselves permission to recreate a bond to ourselves and the natural world. I truly believe that. I do. I've got a lot of different notes on what this poem actually means, but I want you to interpret it for what it means to you. And maybe this will open your mind about what silence and stillness is more for you. Okay. Next slide. Why does silence and stillness facilitate in finding and implementing your own answers? Let's figure out why. So, silence benefits. These are science-based answers. I already talked about how, like, you know, we've studied this because we wanted to actually know, is silence useful? And science was like, yeah, it is. It increases relaxation. It improves your mood state. It promotes actions of well-being. I can just tell you, a handful of times where I'm getting really agitated, and if I just separate myself and go find silence outside and I just sit for a while, I feel so much better. I'm like, oh, wow, this is great. And, how often do you have the experience to do that? And the other point that I want to talk about is that I know that silence can be uncomfortable. So if silence is meant to relax us, and you don't feel relaxed the first time you sit in silence, as it is normalized, you will become more comfortable with it and experience increased relaxation. I know a lot of people that I say, oh, we'll just sit in silence. They're like, are you joking? I can't be away from my phone for 10 minutes. And I'm like, okay, well, this is great. This is a highlighting of an area of like, well, why can't you be without your phone for 10 minutes? Let's normalize a different experience for you. So this is why we care about it, because it's supposed to relax us. It's supposed to improve our mood. So when it doesn't, there's some questions at there. So, okay. Other silence benefits. It alters perceptions of time. This is true. If you sit in silence and you set a timer for an hour and you're like, I'm not moving until this timer goes off, you're going to feel like you're there for an absolute eternity. You're going to be like, that was 1 hour. I feel like that way with 10 minutes as well. I'll set a timer for 10 minutes and then I'll get lost in yonder into the silence, and then all of a sudden be back and be like, whoa, that was wild. And the ability to alter perceptions of time is very healthy for us because of all the constructs and set things that we have all the time to just flow and be without having to know what time it is, just be in the now. It's very powerful. So it also fosters self-regulation, because when you're in these moments of silence and stillness, you're looking upon yourself, you're regulating self, you're like, what am I doing? What am I feeling? Where am I at? I need to know, like these things, and I want to know these things. And once you know where you are, you can regulate to where you want to be in terms of a feeling or energy. You'll sit down and be like getting really agitated and then sit in silence for a minute and be like, oh, I'm just hungry. Those moments. Anyways, but one leads to another. So when you sit in silence, it also promotes stillness. So that's why these are connected together in the PowerPoint, because as long as you're not moving, you're not making sound. I guess your breath can sometimes make sound, but besides the point. Okay, so the practice of stillness. When you practice stillness, you are able to clear your mind. The more you practice stillness, the more you can call upon it when you need it. This practice of stillness improves focus and ability to regulate in the present moment. So yes, stillness is a practice, just like finding silence is a practice. And the more you practice it, the more you can call upon it. So the fidgeting the fingers example, or the having to shake your leg, or look back and forth, all of these social cues and body movements that reveal that we're not comfortable, that we're anxious in the moment, that we need to be fiddling and picking and moving and fidgeting, we're feeling anxious, even though when we're talking we feel like, oh, maybe I'm fine. I have sometimes I'll itch, and I'll have this nervous itch when I'm recording, and I'm like, oh, I don't need to itch. Or when I'm thinking, I'll just have a nervous itch. And this is something that I think is part of self-regulation and silence. It's like, okay, whoa, what if I could still my body and just not be anxious and be like, okay, I'm safe here, I'm fine. I don't need to fidget, I don't need to pick, I don't always have to be on edge, because with that you improve your focus and ability to regulate. You're not so anxious of, oh my god, what are they thinking about me? I need to pick at the side of my fingers or shake my leg. It's just like, oh, I'm going to focus on what they're saying to me and just be here in this moment because everything's all right. These are things that I hope that you resonate with, or maybe you've experienced before in your life where you're in a conversation with someone else and you can see that they're on edge and really shaken and moving and not really focusing on what you're saying and just seem like all over the place, that's someone that maybe is not finding silence and stillness, and you can recognize it within them. So it's these energies that we give off and unintentionally and reveal how much I believe silence and stillness is in our life. And this is why this is important, I think, because you deserve to feel calm and peaceful in the moment. Okay, so can you believe it? There's another poem. But the reason I've got so many poems with this silence and stillness presentation is because it's a bit elusive, this concept of silence and stillness and the benefits that it provides for our life. And like I said, with it's a connection with nature, and I feel like us returning to our true nature. So let's go into poem voice again. So building fires requires attention to the spaces in between, as much to the wood when we are able to build. Open spaces in the same way we have learned to pile on the logs, then we can come to see how it is fuel and the absence of the fuel together that make fire possible. Then we can watch the fire leap and play, burn down then flame up in unexpected ways. We only need to lay a log lightly from time to time. A fire grows simply because the space is there, with openings in which the flame that knows just how it wants to burn can find its way. So I like this little tidbit because of I love to make fires personally, and because I feel like I'm good at making fires because I am able to regulate the spaces between the logs effectively, and this space and the stillness and this silence in this void that is there, that's where fire grows, that's where energy grows. And the same thing goes for the human experience, the human thoughts, the human energy. When we don't just keep piling on thoughts, piling on actions constantly, when we're just able to find the silence and add space in our life for the answers to come, they will come. And so this was just another connection of nature. And if you've ever built a fire, you know that it requires the spaces to move forward. Okay, so now we're going to get into how to use silence and stillness to incorporate your own answers, find your own answers. So as I talked about, hitting the pause button in your life, another video that you can see in this series, disconnecting and detaching. So not going on your phone, not going on technology, being tech-free, something that I've talked about in how to relax videos, allows for the transition into silence and stillness. So if you just get to the point where you're like, no, I'm not going to do any more technology. I'm done with it for the day. I'm out of it. You can just sit on the ground and then unplug your Wi-Fi and just listen and see what you hear. Oh, there's my cat. Hello. Are you excited? Ooh, it must be that time. He's up. He's up. Okay. Another how-to. Give yourself permission to sit in silence for a set period of time. Create boundaries to this. Be like, okay, I'm going to sit for 10 minutes in silence at that park bench that I love by that tree, or in my backyard garden, or on my front stoop. I'm just going to sit and give myself permission to just sit for 10 minutes. Because, that's all it requires, really. That's the only barrier between us doing things and not doing things, is us giving ourselves permission to do it, to not judge ourselves or feel silly for doing it, just to give into it. What is in your fur? Oh, he's got a mat. I'm going to have to get rid of that. What is this little circle thing? Oh, God, everything's moving. All of a sudden, there's a countdown circle on my screen. I'm just going to... Yeah, how do I get rid of this countdown circle? I'm just going to keep going. So after... Oh, no. See, look at Joshua. There's a countdown circle. Is it? Oh. Yeah, the cat's not helping. Welcome to the Life of Kate presentations. They're always interesting and they're most of the time never refined. Oh, I did it! Okay. So another thing, a way to find silence and stillness, if you don't live by yourself, this is an opportunity for you to talk with the ones that you love, the ones that you share space with, and be like, hey, look, I think some silence would be really good for us. Can we just sit in silence together and appreciate it and see what happens? Just have that conversation with them. I watched this video and this woman, Catherine, said it was useful, so let's do it. You know, I'm sure they would be open to it, you know, but you never know. That's all I can say is that if you share space with others and you want silence, the best way is effective communication and always from a place of love. Okay, so the last way to find silence and stillness is through what I think in breathing exercises. So it's not updating, but it will update. Oh, somewhere over the rainbow. Okay. Breathing helps with stillness of the mind. If you're just focusing on breathing and not moving, chances are you'll be in stillness of the mind. It requires all of your attention. Okay, well, that's it from me. I am going to find silence and stillness of my own because that's what I like to do. I like to find my own answers in silence and stillness. I like to experience silence and stillness most days because I feel a lot of clarity and I feel a deeper connection with myself and the world around me. And so this is my last saying of find silence and stillness and try it and see what happens. Okay. Thank you for watching. Much love. Peace.